Dr. Clarence, you're very welcome. Antonia Onu, thanks for joining in. We're very much welcome.
Your faith was strong, but you need a proof. You saw her bathing on the roof.
You can let us know in the chat where you're joining us from, just so we know what geographical locations we've been covering. So we'll be starting in a few minutes, just so we allow all the participants to join in. John, I can cite you. Very much welcome. So welcome everyone. We'll be joining in a few. We'll be starting off in a few minutes, just to give some time to all who would like to be part of the seminar to join us. So we wouldn't wait for them forever, but yes, just to allow a few minutes for others to join in. David, I can see you. Welcome. And let us know where you're joining in from. Sonia, you're welcome. Thank you, David. How is the weather in Aberdeen? I hope it's looking bright and not as gloomy as we have it down here in London. Yes. Your faith was strong, but you need a proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight. Oh, great. Good to know it's a lovely weather down there in Aberdeen. Up there, rather, in Aberdeen. Yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us once again for the seminar this month. Just to give a few more minutes for all the participants to join us before we kick off. I'm sure that for those of us who are already here with us, we are looking forward to another insightful session, as has been the case in this past few months since we commenced this mental health seminar series. I want to say that I'm sure that your time with us today will be rewarding. Hopefully, yes. Alexa Label, welcome. I can cite you. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining.
So, I think we will be starting the program now. And to kick off, I just want to say on behalf of Face Youth, welcome to all of you who have now joined us on this Face Youth Mental Health Awareness and Stigma Reduction Initiative Seminar for the month of August. As you may know, our focus for this month is on the youth, our young people, especially those who are in school or in formal education. So this is to commemorate the United Nations International Youth Day, which was celebrated on the 12th of August. The theme for our seminar today, as you would have known from the information sent across and from the flyers shared, is the new school environment and mental health. And for our speakers today, we have two young people who would share some experiences, obviously being young people themselves, and the impact of school environment on young people's mental health. Just before we begin formally, I want to remind us of a few things. As we would have observed, the seminar is being recorded and it is also being broadcast live on FACEYOUTH's YouTube channel and also on FACEYOUTH's Facebook page. So all participants, as you would have noted, as you join in, you're being muted. This is to help us reduce noise during the seminar. As is expected at the end of our presentations by our two speakers, there will be an interactive question and answer session. And during this question and answer session, you can either type your question in the chat box or raise your hand using the raise your hand function in the chat. And then the host will unmute you so you can ask your question. If you want, you can also type the question right in the chat or type in the chat that you would like to ask a question and the host can unmute you. But if your question comes to your mind when one of the speakers is making his or her presentation, you can also type the question in the chat box so we can pick it up from there during the question and answer session. But I would suggest that maybe you might want to wait till the end of both speakers' presentation before you ask or type in your questions, just in case whatever you might have wanted to ask might have been covered off by the two speakers. So once again, welcome to our FACEYOUTH Mental Health Seminar Series for the month of August. And before we proceed, I would like to invite Ebenezer Ajono to say a few words to us about FACEYOUTH and what we do. Over to you, Ebenezer.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
William.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm Williams Ebenezer Ajono, a co-founder of FACEYOUTH. You are welcome to this event. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are watching from. This is the 8th edition of our mental health seminar, and it is youth-oriented in commemoration of the Youth Day that just passed August 12th. And we'll be focusing on the youths on this event. So FACEYOUTH is the foundation of advancement of child education and youth empowerment. And shortly, we'll be playing a video that will further explain to you what we've done so far, our past initiatives, our current initiatives, and our future initiatives. After the video, we're going to move on to the event proper. We have two speakers lined up already, and we have music therapy also lined up. So sit tight as we move. Thank you very much as the video pops up. Thank you.
The Foundation for Advancement of Child Education and Youth Empowerment, FACEYOUth, is a grassroots-inspired charitable organization with vested interest in alleviating poverty, promotion and support of quality education for the disadvantaged child, as well as promotion and provision of vocational and skills acquisition programs for the empowerment of youth. We believe that education and youth empowerment are potentially significant in contributing to the growth of every community. And it is this belief that inspired us to start a FACEYOUth to bridge the gap in educational opportunities between school children in rural communities and more developed communities by sponsoring as many underprivileged students as possible, by increasing youth representation and involvement in the decision-making process, by promoting and developing entrepreneurial spirit among youth, because we believe that entrepreneurship is one of the pathways to ending poverty, by disseminating relevant information about issues concerning youth written by youth. 3,500 families are beneficiaries of our Street Food Bank initiative, Mission Love. 250 children are beneficiaries of FACEYOUth Scholarship Scheme in Nigeria and Malawi, and over 500 children have benefited from the Back to School project between 2017 till date, where educational materials were distributed to 5 different schools in Nigeria. FACEYOUth have also renovated and established 2 library projects at public/government primary schools in eastern Nigeria. Over 80 young entrepreneurs have been given seed funding to support their business from 2018 till date. Entrepreneurship and mentorship seminars are being organized by FACEYOUth to empower young people, both physical in Enugu and virtual via Zoom. We believe that mental health needs unashamed conversation. Stigma and lack of understanding are 2 barriers that keep people, especially those from Africa and other ethnic minority communities, from seeking help regarding their mental health issues. It is in light of this that we launched the monthly Mental Health Awareness and Stigma Reduction Initiative for young people to tackle mental health issues in young people, especially from its onset. Our big project right now is the Eastern Food Bank, which was born out of our seasonal Mission Love initiative, because we believe hunger is not seasonal. And another big project is our radio school project to take quality education to remote places with radio network in Africa. Like every charity, our greatest need is financial. If you would like to support us, please, all we ask is for you to make a commitment of 1,000 Naira monthly or $2 monthly. We understand that the economy is not stable at the moment. We all need a little extra support. But we believe that these little amounts can help us give children in rural communities quality education they deserve and also help alleviate poverty. We promise to keep you up to date on our activities and how we are spending whatever donations or grants we get. If you can spare anything at all, it will be greatly appreciated. If you also like to partner with us or know somebody that would like to collaborate or partner with us, please initiate the introduction. You can contact us via our email info@faceyouth.org or go to our website www.faceyouth.org/get-involved. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ebenezer, for that introduction. So moving on, like it was said in the video, if you would like to partner with FACEYOUth or you would like to be a volunteer, please do get in touch. Now, moving on to our main business of the day, I would like to invite our first speaker in the person of Dominique, also known as Nikki Anekwe of Alberta Health Services in Alberta, Canada. I hope I got it. So Nikki owns and runs a YouTube channel by the name Ada Canada, where she provides information on immigration and study, and generally she talks about life as an immigrant in Canada. And just for us to have an insight into Nikki's profile, I will just share briefly what Nikki's profile is, just for our information. So Nikki is, she's a graduate, obviously, in geology, and she's also has a postgraduate degree in petroleum geoscience. But currently, she offers immigration information to those who want to live and study in Canada. Over to you, Nikki.
Hello, everyone. Good day. I hope you guys can hear me. So, just like she introduced, my name is Dominique, or you can call me Nikki. And first of all, before I start, I just want to say thank you to FACEYOUth and to Ify for inviting me and giving me this platform for me to be able to speak and also to share my story. So in line with the topic, I wanted to just talk briefly on my story, because actually my story is longer than 30 minutes, but for just to keep up with time and to not digress too much, I'm just going to keep it straight to the point as much as possible. So just like you saw in my profile, I came to Canada in 2015. So I've been here for the past 6 years. On Monday is going to make exactly 6 years, because I arrived on the 30th and 2 days later I started school. So there wasn't any time, and this was my very first time moving out. I have never left Nigeria before. So there wasn't really any time for me to settle down and try to at least get used to the environment or get used to school. So everything was all happening on a very fast pace. And, coming from a place like Nigeria, where at least far back in university, when school is supposed to start at a certain date, classes don't start until 2 weeks or 3 weeks later. So, I would always just like chill and rest, but coming to start school 2 days later, I wasn't even prepared for anything, because classes actually started immediately. So there was just basically no time for me to settle down, and everything was moving at a very, very fast pace that it was, I struggled a bit in terms of catching up and keeping up with what's going on in my environment, what's going on with myself. And so my stress began just barely 2 weeks after arriving, barely 2 weeks after starting school. That was when my stress began, and all like the challenges that I experienced throughout that when I was doing my master's program. I was kind of dealing with going to classes. I was dealing with being the only Black student, because I was the only Black student in my class. So very overwhelming. It was my first time being in that kind of situation. I didn't really know how to handle it, just trying to at least take in the entire environment and take in my surroundings. And because of the many deadlines, the fact that we had things that we had to submit every week, I wasn't really getting much sleep, and I wasn't really eating. Basically, I just wasn't taking care of myself. So it was very bad, because I went downhill. Like, I used to be a very good student, like I graduated very well, and there is also so much competition in my class. And because of that competition, it's like, you really have to be on a fast pace. You really have to be on a certain, like there are so many high expectations that the instructors wanted. So you have to really put yourself on a very high pedestal. And it's just basically a struggle for me to try to keep up and try to find a balance between time for school and time for other activities, or time to rest or time to relax. So struggling to keep that balance was also a major challenge for me. So eventually, to cut the long story short, I failed one of my courses and I almost got kicked out of my entire program, because you can't, when you fail the first time, they put you on probation, and if you can't pass on the second trial, then they have to kick you out. So I failed and I almost dropped out. I actually wanted to drop out because I attended a seminar. There was a mandatory seminar course, and during that seminar course, they brought people from oil and gas industry, and they were all talking about getting a job and how the way the sector was then at that time. And people were asking a lot of questions, but I didn't have any question to ask. But it was right there in that seminar where I came to the realization, or I had an epiphany, that I didn't think geology was meant for me, or I didn't think that I was meant to be in geology. So because I was an international student, and because I also took a loan to fund my master's program, there's no way for me to just drop out. I had to just like finish it, carry myself to the finish line. After I failed in the first semester in 2015, December 2015, I went through a stage of loneliness. I was depressed for a while, and there was also anxiety, or social anxiety. I didn't know how to talk to people. So talking to people was a very strange, because like I always get very afraid to even speak up, or even if it's just to say hello and how are you doing, just like a 2 minute conversation. So all of those things affected me. It wasn't until the following year in 2016 before I started realizing that, okay, this is where I'm at, right? But at the same time, there's also pressure from my family back home. So I can't afford to just fail and just give up on myself, because I'm here, right? I'm already here and I'm here for a reason. So the pressure from family and the pressure I put on myself made me to just go back to my drawing board and try to figure out, how do I just make my situation better? How do I just like stop with all this? How do I kind of like get back on track, because I had already fallen down? So that was when I started realizing that, okay, I have to take my mental health seriously as much as I do my physical health. So I started engaging in things that would help me to calm down. For example, like listening to music, for example, or maybe try to sleep more, try to eat at least, try to just breathe through it all, try to take breaks as much as possible, because just going without taking a break, you end up, eventually you run yourself to the ground. So when I realized that the things that I'm doing, putting so much pressure on myself, and also pressure that I'm getting from back home in Nigeria, is not, those things are not really helping me. And having shut down before, completely just shut down mentally and also physically, I just had to retrace my steps and say, okay, I'll try this, and then I'll try this, and then I'll try this, and then see how it works, and just keep going and keep going. I wasn't expecting that I was going to be completely fine 100% after starting all of this therapy and self-care, but I found that eventually the things that I was doing before that weren't working for me is because I wasn't doing it right, or I wasn't taking care of myself, right? I wasn't giving myself a break, or I wasn't just like, at least pause. I didn't realize that it's okay to pause, because coming from Nigeria, you're always like, just go. You just keep going. There's nothing like rest. So when I started putting all these things into practice, I started doing better in school in the following semester, and eventually I still graduated. But right now, I I left geology completely and started transitioning into healthcare. So that's why I'm now in healthcare, and I'm currently I'm still in the middle of transitioning into healthcare. And it's a lot better than it was 5-6 years ago. I'm in a better place, a far better place than before. And I'm actually happier than I was before. And so I wanted to just bring out, or just quickly talk about some things that I realized from my own experience, is that my experience is unique, even though there might be similarities with some other people, but my experience is my experience. And coming here is not always a bed of roses, whether you're coming in as a student or you're already coming in as a landed immigrant. It's not always a bed of roses, and there are challenges regardless of where you're moving to, whether you're moving to Europe or North America. There are challenges, but it's just how you deal with those challenges that really matters the most, right? I realized from my own experience that mental health is something, it's underrated in Nigeria. We go through life, we go through stressful activities, we go through stressful events or traumatic events, and we don't really give ourselves time to process this. We don't really give ourselves time to like, okay, let's internalize, let's digest this. Like, how is this affecting us? How is this affecting our health, right? How, especially our mental health, right? We just try and slide it under the rug and then just keep moving on. And if you try, a lot of immigrants like myself here, there's also, that aspect of, with all of these challenges that we're going through, if we try to like speak up, we're told to suck it up, right? We try to find someone that maybe we could confide in. We are told, oh, but you're already abroad now. You shouldn't even find it difficult. Why are you complaining? You're better off, or you're in a better place. Yes, it is. It might be a better country than Nigeria, but it doesn't mean that there aren't challenges here. It doesn't mean that, things are just supposed to be 100% straightforward. Life is supposed to be just straightforward. You get this one, and, there is just 100% happiness, right? People go through their own challenges. And so because of, the reaction that we think we might get, it kind of makes us kind of close in to the point where we're too afraid to speak up and say, this is what I'm going through. People go through depression as immigrants. People go through loneliness. I went through loneliness for a long time. And I have extended family here, but I still felt very lonely. And it's a very bad spot to be in mentally anyway. People go through social anxiety, or even just anxiety, right? There's a lot of pressure from back home. There's pressure to want to perform, to do well, because a lot of people are looking up to you back home. People are waiting for you to maybe finish, graduate, so you can get a job and send money back home. So it creates pressure and stress. And then we start like, exerting too much pressure on ourselves because of the pressure from the environment or pressure from friends and family. We start exerting so much pressure on ourselves that we forget that we are also human beings. We're not machines. And it's time that I don't know how it is back in Nigeria, but I feel it's time that we start taking mental health more seriously, because it is a thing, and we start learning the ways that we can deal with it, so that we don't kind of just run ourselves to the ground. I hope I'm making sense, but
you are making sense, and we do understand. I can imagine.
So it's kind of high time that we at least get to talk about these kinds of issues, because there are so many people like me who won't talk about it, who would just close off and just close in. And even if they want to talk, just like we had in that video, that lack of understanding coming from others, or lack of empathy, or like people trying to compare or making all those kind of snide remarks, it makes us to close in. And it's really not good to keep it in like that. some of the things that I did, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I think I've mentioned some of it, but I'm very big on self-care. I'm very big on taking care of yourself. When I was going through the whole loneliness and depression and everything, I didn't have money to go for a therapy, because even as a student, you would still have to pay for therapy, even though it was discounted. So I didn't really have money to go for therapy, and I just used whatever I could find that wouldn't cost me much. So self-care, even just the basic sleeping, even just the basic eating, even just the basic like talking to people. So the things that I never got to do, I'm starting to do them now, and I'm seeing that it's really working and helping for me. I had challenges with communication, like I said before, but now I am, because like going into healthcare, you have to know how to talk to people, especially when you're dealing with patients, right? You really just have to know how to talk to people. You can't just like, it's not something you just be in your own cubicle and not have to talk to anybody. So I am learning communication, and I am doing better. At my place of work, I always try to challenge myself, not really try to, but I always challenge myself, push myself further to get to talk to patients that I meet, like just get to strike up conversations. And it's really been helping me so far. So I'm a lot better off. And just anything that you do, anything that you can do that kind of just makes you feel more relaxed or maybe less anxious in my case, because I tend to get very easily anxious anyway, then just you can engage in it. But it's good. And I like that we're starting to have all these conversations bordering around mental health and how we can help ourselves. And another thing I would like to point out is I'm not sharing my story to scare people who have the intention of moving abroad, whether it's Canada or anywhere. I'm not sharing my story. It's just, I'm just saying it just so that you're aware that these are some challenges that you may or may not get to experience. If you have somebody, or if you have anybody, even if it's just one person or a family member that you can really just talk to whenever you're feeling so stressed, or whenever the challenges are just like, you feel like you're drowning, that's fine, because getting it all out instead of bottling it up in, it's so much better. It helps take away at least a whole lot of headache. And I do want to encourage you, for those of you out there who are interested in moving, is just do it. You'll be fine eventually, but just remember to take care of yourself. Just remember, in whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're coming here to work or you're coming here to school, just remember to take care of yourself, because it's very easy to become overwhelmed. It's very, very easy to get overwhelmed. And when you become overwhelmed, there's, it affects you mentally and physically. So I hope
Wow. No, I mean, you've done very well with time. I don't know if there is anything else you want to say, but if that's all you've got for us, at this juncture, I must say thank you so much, Nikki, for that insight into your personal experience moving abroad and studying abroad. I mean, to be honest, it takes some degree of bravery for you to, or bravery rather, for you to be able to share your experience from a positive, point of view. Not, of course, it wasn't all rosy, but here you are standing on the other side and passing on a positive message, striking it like, speaking it how real it is, but at the same time, for others not to feel daunted by the idea, but to take an inspiration from your own personal journey, but not to neglect what is important, which is that their mental health might be challenged in the process, and also offering some advice on what can be useful and helpful. And the main thing I can say you mentioned in that aspect is self-love. Take care of yourself. That, I must say, is very important, because, I mean, like the things you pointed out, obviously, for those of us who live abroad, I personally can identify with some of the things you say. And the truth is, I mean, you've said it all pretty much. And I'm sincerely like grateful for you having, you know, the bravery to be able to say all these things out. At least I know some of us here, some of our participants definitely would have taken one or two things out of it. Yes, depression, that's a mental health issue, loneliness, and then anxiety, social anxiety, pressure from home, and pressure from an environment you're not familiar with, of course. Somehow people don't think these things have impact on our mental health, but obviously they do, as you have put it very much rightly. And how else can can we hear it or know it but from someone who has actually experienced it? Thank you so much for throwing light on that. And I know, obviously, I can see from from your expressions here that it made you to come out all the more stronger on the other side. Thank you so much. I think our Dr. Chudi wants to chip in one or few things at this point. Obviously,
Correct.
someone who is already in the field might have something to chip in at this juncture.
Correct. Can everyone hear me?
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a kind of a comment, and also to applaud this amazing lady. Nikki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you remember me?
Yes, I remember you. That was, I think, we've been friends on Facebook, but the very first time, I think that was either 2017 or 2018. So, can
you tell Face You, like the reason why I'm asking Nikki to open up, it's because if you're a youth and you're listening to me, this lady coming out to tell her story, it's actually therapeutic, because this is a multi-talented lady, like on so many levels. And if she can transition to struggle, and by the time she was communicating with me, I didn't even know she had all those issues. It's possible she was, struggling with her things, but she had so many talents. The reason why she reached out to me was because of her writing skills. She writes excellently well. And I introduced her to one of my writer friends, who is a prolific writer. But it's possible that was the time she was struggling. And she's a very bold lady out there, but you can see that whatever image you put out, it's all about you. But when you go out of the whole limelight, there are so many things that happen behind the scenes. So Nikki, it's not like I'm putting you to a spot. It's actually a positive thing to see you come back. And it's also important to know that the world is a small place. So when you meet people, you make sure that the memory you're living with them are very positive, lasting memory, because you might be the only angel. You might actually be the only God they know. And if you're a youth and you're planning to transition from Nigeria or wherever you are, and you think, oh, it's just going to be a straight curve, it's not so. Even us, we struggle as professionals. So when you're transitioning to a new place, you're going to struggle. But what will make you stand out is what she actually mentioned. Talk therapy, delineate your boundaries, identify few good people that can be your wind beneath your wings. All this whole package about Face Youth, we haven't seen each other. We don't know each other, but we're able to pull this because we identified with people that have positive vibes. Now, if you chronicle Nikki's journey, she did geology in Nigeria, transition, and now she's going into health. And she's a prolific writer. And, she carries herself with a lot of prestige, but within herself, she knew what she struggled with. And coming out to talk about it, coming out to own her story, coming out to tell you, this is what happened. This was then. This is me. There is no therapy better than that. So, Nikki, I just want to encourage you and other youths out there. There are limitless opportunities out there. I mean, I can't believe you've already spent 6 years in Canada and you're going strong. So nothing can stop you. I just wanted to interrupt and remind us of the strength we have. So seeing you again, I think I was telling Ify when she told me, oh, Nikki, I said, I know Nikki. And, now hearing about, the struggles you've had, because I think at the stage, I didn't hear from you. I didn't see you. Probably that was when you were trying to transition, but it's good to have you back, and you're full of potentials. You don't even know what you have. You're a born leader. You command a lot of things, and you have your own space now in YouTube. So the world is in your pocket. Nothing can stop you. So keep going. I know you have open door to reach out anytime. You don't walk alone. And it's also to all the youths out there. If I had this opportunity we have now growing up, what I've done in maternal health would be a drop in the ocean. So thank you so much, Nikki, for owning your story, and keep on keeping on. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Judy, for that, what I call it, a top-up on Nikki's presentation, sharing her own personal journey and experience moving abroad and studying abroad. Of course, like Dr. Judy said, I'm not going to go over it. Most of us, you see here, I also, and also Ify, the Face Youth founder, of course, we all moved from Nigeria to come and live abroad. And we all have encountered various challenges in one form or the other. And like Nikki mentioned, of course, I personally can identify with a few of them. But the most important thing is to focus, to be focused and be positive and recognize what you need to do. Some of the things you pointed out, of course, are key for you not to go the other way, but to keep on track. Thank you once again, Nikki, for that insightful experience you've shared with us. And I hope that someone here, it would make so much impact and inspire someone. So moving on, just as we have heard Nikki, we just want to take a short music interlude so that we can recharge and then come back to hear our second speaker, what he has in store for us. So let's just sit back and listen to a music by Abu Canary.
Hi, my name is Abu Canary, and I hope someone is inspired by this message today. When you believe. In this time of fear, when prayer so often proves in vain, hope feels like a summer bird so swiftly flown away. Yet now I am standing here, my heart so full I can't explain, seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be miracles when you believe, though hope is real, it's hard to kill. Yeah. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will, yes you will, yes you will, you will when you believe. Oh, yes you will, yeah. Oh, yes you will. They don't often happen when you ask, and it's easy to give in to your fears. No, when you're blinded by your pain, can't see your way through the rain, there's still the resilient voice saying can achieve when we believe. Somehow we will. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. You and I have some good things that will happen to us in the future when you believe. You and you believe. Oh, yes, you will. When we believe, you and I. Mwah, mwah.
Wow. I hope that, I think I've just like come from another planet, I must say. That music was, I think, what I needed now, just to remind myself that I can achieve anything, only to believe that's possible. And it's more like adding on Nikki's message that believe in yourself, you can actually pull through whatever challenges you're going through. Thank you so much, Abel Canary, for that wonderful piece. It's quite inspiring, and I think it's just fit for this message of today from Nikki, that no matter what the challenges have been, just believe, just realize, shake them off, and keep focused, and you surely pull through. Thank you, Nikki, once again, and thank you, Abel Canary, for that beautiful piece. So moving on, I would like to invite our second speaker. But before I do that, I just want to remind those of us who have joined us, who are watching on YouTube, if you have any questions or comments, please do well to put it down in the comment section and we'll pick it up from there. And then for those of us here live on Zoom with us, like I said, there'll be an interactive question and answer session. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, or when the time comes around after the second speaker, then we will be able to unmute you if you raise your hand so you can ask your question. So now I would like to invite our second speaker in the person of Chime Chinonso Simon, called Chimex, I would say. So Chimex is the CEO, pardon me. Chimex is the CEO of Chimex Vinless Tech. He is obviously a youth representative and public speaker, and he's the representative of Impact Network International. Just like Nikki has done, Chimex will also be sharing with us some of his own personal experiences as he relates to mental health. Chimex, I hand over. And for those of us who will be interested to know more about Chimex, I will share his profile while he speaks to us. Thank you. Over to you, Chimex.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Auntie Fee for this great opportunity. I don't take it for granted. I want everyone to clap for Auntie Fee, the founder of FACEYOUTH. You can just help me clap for her, please. She's an amazing woman. She has done a lot for young people here in Nigeria and outside the country. And I've been actively involved in some of the projects in Nigeria. And I want to tell you that it's amazing to see the kind of fund that is being pushed to help young people, children in Nigeria is so much. You deserve an award. Thank you so much, Auntie Fee. And thank you once more for the privilege to speak this evening. So I'm going to be talking about my own story. I'm going to be talking about my own story. So I attended University of Nigeria, Nsukka, between 2009 and 2014. Or let's say between 2009 and 2014 years, I actually did a 4-year course for 5 years. And throughout my stay in the university, about 3 students committed suicide while I was a student in school. And one of the suicides, the student just hanged himself on one of the stadiums and just said the controversy is over. And while I left school, most students committed suicide. For the past 3 years, about 2 or 3 more students have
Oh, seems like you're having some network issues there. Not sure if you can hear me, Chimex.
committed suicide at the University of Nigeria. Can you still hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry for the interruption. I'm in Nigeria. Thank you very much. So, while in school, while in secondary school, I was one of the brightest students in my class. I had A's. I think my lowest score in chemistry in secondary school was 90. So when I entered the university, I saw another dimension of learning. I saw another dimension of learning that started to affect me negatively. In my first year, I had a CGPA of 4.44, yeah, in my first year. In my second year, I had a CGPA of 3.5. And in my third year, I had a CGPA of 1.0. So that was the beginning of my problem. And I couldn't blame anybody though, because my parents couldn't afford me going to school. So I had to start my business as a student. I was going to school. I was raising money for the next session. I'll be in one session and I'll raise money, school fees for the next session to be able to pay my school fees. So, and of course you can't serve 2 masters at a time. So these things began to affect my academic. I had a CGPA of 1.0, that's over 5, 1.0. In one of the courses, I had E. I have about 3 or 4 carryovers. And for someone who have not experienced failure before, for a long time, I don't know what failure is from primary school. I don't know what failure is. The university taught me failure. And it was a very tough situation. And at that point, I started becoming lonely. And one thing about the university is that if you're doing well, like if you're very good academically, you have a lot of friends. But once you begin to perform poorly, your friends will begin to leave you one after the other. So the second thing was what happened to me. I saw my friends leaving me just like that. People I used to study together, they saw me and said, no, this guy doesn't have anything to offer again. I was that lonely. And it came was that I stopped going home. Because I'm going home, I'm not going home to Germany to come back to school. I'll have to, each time I go home, I have to save money that I'll use and transport myself and go home and come back because nobody is giving me anything at home. Sometimes I have to even send money to people at home. That was how serious my own case was in school. So about 2 Christmas, I spent it in Osaka. I didn't go anywhere. And those 2 Christmas was the best time for me to also take my life because all my roommates have gone home for Christmas. I was alone in my room for 2 Christmas. I didn't go home. I didn't go to anywhere. I was alone in my room. And the only thing that was coming to my head is, better to just end it all. Just end it all. What is 1.0? And I'm the first son in my family. And if for those of us that are from Nigeria, we know the kind of expectations that we expect from the first sons in the family or the first child in the family. You are like a role model to every other person. You are like an example to every other person in the home. So if you perform poorly, there's every probability that your younger ones will also perform poorly. So I was like an example for others. So I saw myself failing already. I saw myself a failure. I cannot amount to anything. So one of those Christmas, I was just trekking around the university campus, and I just met one of my lecturer, Dr. Namchi. I studied microbiology in the University of Nigeria. Dr. Namchi. So he asked me, why am I still in school and all that? So I was able to open up to him. That's why it's good to open up when you have issues. So he called me to, then I didn't even know my exact GP. He now called me to his office one of those Christmases and made calls to get all my results and everything. We calculated the GP, it was 1.0, and the matter became worse. And I didn't know how I could just hold it in his office. Then he started talking to me. God bless him. We have only few lecturers in Nigeria that can be like that, my lecturer, Dr. Namchi. Just few of them. Just few of them. He called me and then told me his own story. That's why it's good to share stories. Sharing stories help you to encourage others. It also helps you to learn from other people too. He told me that he graduated from the same department with Tutu, that he didn't make, he wasn't the best student, but today he's a lecturer. So that story was also encouraging me to an extent. But at that point, I've already lost passion in the course. My thinking has changed to IT because this Christmas, I was also using it to learn a lot of IT skills. My passion have already changed. So coming towards final year, I had to even leave school politics because I was active in school politics. I was very popular in school. If students are coming for post-UME, they don't have any way to get information online. I was there online on the internet, getting information for people who are looking for admission into UN. Then during post-UME, I'll use my own money because I was a business person. I'll use my own money, post the venues because the university will just publish it on the school website and leave students to go and find their venues. Then I will just put it in different hostels in school just to get people, just that people will know the venue they were going to write their exam. I was doing that, trying my best where I can also support humanity, even in my own trauma and all that. So when it reached final year, I was supposed to graduate in August 2013. So I already know that I had an extra year. And extra year is one of the ways you know that a student is not serious. One of the ways to know that the student performed poorly because he's not graduating with his set and all that. So when it was time for convocation, because I was very popular in school, a lot of people were already calling me, telling me congratulations, but only me know that I had extra year. And before extra year, I've already come home to talk to my parents. I told my mom that I want to have a meeting with everyone in the family. And before that, during my final year, if I went home for one of the holidays to get money for my project, all my mom could give me was 500 naira for projects. If you know, if for someone that is doing a project in microbiology that need a lot of lab stuff and all that, your project should be getting to 50, 60,000 then in 2013. But what I was giving was 500. Made the matter worse, I went back to school with that. After crying, I had to face the situation that I found myself into. I had to manage myself through business, doing assignments, projects for people, writing 10 papers for people, doing tutorials for people. And that was how I was able to raise money to finish school. But I still had an extra year to face. So back to my convocation story. So a lot of people were calling me to come for my convocation. I told them that I wasn't available for convocation. I didn't give anybody any reason. If you ask me why I'm not convocating, I'll tell you that at the Lord's time, everything will happen. So I had an extra year, and that was another year of turmoil. If you go on the road, in Igbo, people ask you, when will you go for service? That was the next question. And you know, here, when you finish one phase, you enter another phase. When you finish one phase, you enter another phase. So while you're in school, they ask you when you graduate. When you graduate, they ask you when you go for service. When you go for service, they ask you, have you gotten a job? When you get a job, they ask you, when will you get married? When you get married, they ask you, when will you give birth to children? When you give to children, that's not enough, two not enough, you should make it three of. This is how the challenges is everywhere. Plenty challenges in Nigeria. It's everywhere, not just Nigeria, it's everywhere. So every level have its own challenge. Every level have its own problems and all. So during that extra year period, because I already discovered that my calling was not in the microbiology, to help myself, I went to work in an IT office. I started working in the ICT office of the university in the Enugu campus. I started working for free. They were not paying me anything. The main purpose was to learn, to see how I can learn. And within that period, I was able to learn more on my IT skills and improve on my knowledge. And within that period, I was able to now come back. Every Friday, I come back to the university, get the notes. I was reading very, very well to pass those courses. at that point, I already started up a new mantra. One of my mantra is to never give up. Never, if you notice, my shirt says never give up. This is my logo, this is my slogan. After those particular experience, I started telling other people reasons not to give up, reasons to take life serious, and all that. So within that 1 year, I was able to take all my courses serious. I was able to learn additional skills. And I was to pass my course. I thought I would graduate with a third class because of how I got 1.0 in third year. But at the end, I graduated with a second class honors, lower division. So, and back then in school, the lecturers are your friends only when you are a good student. If you're a very bad student, nobody wants to even associate himself with failure on a normal note. Once you're a failure, nobody wants to associate with you. Nobody wants to do anything with you. Only this one lecturer believed in me. One lecturer. And that was all I need. Just one person that can believe in you. The lecturer said, Chinonso, Chimex, I know you can do it. The man had to give me a name, Chimex. The man used to put it there, something like that. So the man had a way to encourage me to come out of the press. I finally graduated from school. And the funny thing about this thing is that I have and look at myself now, you discover that certificate has to do with life. Like, it's good to be graduate. It has to do with my career, what me to think. And right now, a lot of people in the university are feeling themselves over this issue. I called myself extra year specialist. I have an extra year, you should come and meet me. Let me tell you how it's done. I tell a lot of people also graduated that school. Really, the result and students are having the result.
Oh, I think we've lost him there. His network couldn't really pull through. Wow. Max, are you still with us?
I'm here. I'm sorry for the network. It's raining here, so I think it's affecting the network. It's raining here. So after school, I discovered that those things I was killing myself for have nothing to do with where I am now. The work I'm doing now is not microbiology related. They've never asked me to bring my school certificate. Never. They just asked me for my CV, tested me on my skills, I passed it, and it's paying me well. So I wish to encourage people who are still in school and think that their results have 1 or 2 ways to affect their future. That is very, very wrong. It's what you decide for yourself. What you decide for yourself is what will happen to you. How you decide that your life will be is how it's going to be. So I started this mantra to tell people not to give up. No matter how tough it is, people have done it in the past. People have passed through these processes before. They did not die. You will not be the one that will die. You won't be the one that will die. Switching from microbiology to IT was a bit difficult. It was a bit difficult because some people felt, since you're in science line, you don't know anything about coding. But I learned most of the things I'm doing in IT from YouTube, from YouTube. And during those Christmases, while I was alone, the school had free Wi-Fi as far back as 2012 in UNN. I was using the Wi-Fi, maximizing it to learn a lot of IT skills. So if you are depressed in what you're doing, why you are depressed there? It's good to be depressed. It's not good to be depressed, but why you think you're depressed and cry? It's good to cry. But after crying, look for alternative. Look for something else you can do that can take your time, that can make you not to be lonely, that can make you to be very, very busy. And I want to also state that YouTube is a university on its own that can keep anyone busy. It's full of a lot of knowledge, a lot of skills. Most of the things you paid for are free already on YouTube. It's just for you to go there and see them. There are a lot of things that are free on YouTube you can learn from. YouTube played a lot of role to help me change my career successfully from sciences, from microbiology to IT. Then I want to also encourage people that it's okay to cry. It's very wonderful to cry. If you want to cry, cry. You're a human being. It's okay to cry for any situation you find yourself. It's very, very okay to cry. But after crying, come back to reality. Come and face reality. Come and face reality. If it means changing that department, change it. If it means changing that school, change it. If it means changing course, change it. And be bold about what you know. I went for NYSC in Nigeria. They said I should come and teach biology. I told them no, but I cannot teach biology. They say, why? I told them I can only teach computer. They say, how can a graduate of University of Nigeria don't know biology? I told them, yes, I don't know it. I am sorry. I was bold enough to state it there because even while I was in school, I don't know the number of times I looked into a microscope, but I'm a graduate of microbiology. So they had to give me a computer class. And that was how I started finding a new passion to it. And looking at them and now, there's a whole lot of change. There's a whole lot. If I share my picture in 2013 and now, you will understand that the Lord is really, really good. The Lord is really, really good. And in all those things, I also want us to also use, if you're depressed, use the opportunity to go closer to God. Go closer to God. It's good to go close to God. If God directs you, he doesn't make mistake. Go closer to God. God has a way of connecting us with the right people that will bring about change in our lives. God have a way of connecting us to people who will help us go to the next level in our life and career. For instance, when I finished from school, if I didn't go to ICT in UNEC to work for free, I worked as a volunteer free for 2 years. I'm also encouraging young people here that volunteering must not always involve money. Volunteering is not even money. Go and learn something somewhere. Keep yourself busy. That was one of the ways I had to keep myself busy. I had to go and volunteer. And the experience at that place was the experience I used to get the next job. The experience there was what gave me the next job. So wherever you find yourself, wherever you see yourself, don't allow the challenges you face at that stage to pull you down. At this stage of my life, I've passed the getting a job on. The while I'm now is when will you get married? That's how the challenge is. Every stage has its own challenge. When you greet somebody, when you say congratulations, the next thing they ask is when will you get married? And I'm trying so much so that it doesn't cause depression to me. I'm trying so much so that it doesn't make me depressed, because there's a lot of issue at this stage too. And another thing I learned from my own situation is don't give God time. You don't give God time. It's his own time that is the best. If you give God time, you don't rush God. You don't rush God. Walk with him gradually. You don't give God time. Walk in your own pace. You don't give God time. So some people expect you that by 30 you should be married, by 25 you should be a graduate. I used to be like that too, but with the situation I find myself now, I don't give God time again. I walk gradually with him at his own time. Everything will happen. So in summary, I just want to encourage everybody that is watching me not to give up. Never give up. Don't allow the challenges you're passing now to pull you down. Don't allow life obstacles to push you down. See challenges as part of life. I just want to end with this. As wahala no dey finish, Jesus no dey tire to do miracle. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Chimex, for that. What word can I now use to qualify that short presentation and insight you gave us into your own personal experience? To be honest, it's really inspiring to hear you speak, to hear what you've been through, and to hear where you are now. And it ties with what Nikki says. I mean, there are a whole lot of similarities in your experiences. And the bottom line is just like you summed it up. Never give up. Because when you quit, that is the end. But when you don't quit, there is a hope for a new beginning. Essentially, because if you give up, obviously that's the end of it. And what you would have become would definitely not transpire, come to reality. And your message is very, very clear. Do not deny what challenges you are facing are. More like Nikki said, keep it real, acknowledge there are challenges, but then you need to keep focused. The keeping focus is what would help you try to find solutions to the problem. But of course, if you quit prematurely, then who knows? What you would have become would never be. Then we are not to quit. And the other important point you mentioned, obviously, is to recognize that we did not make ourselves. We did not come to this world just by a spark of light, or, we didn't fall from the sky. Someone made us, and he knows us and understands us in and out, and should be our backbone, or more like a go-to person when we are facing challenges, and trust that he is more than able and capable to see us through all of that. But above all, most importantly, whatever challenges one may have, I think the message you have for all of us today is one can overcome them. One should keep focused and don't give up. Thank you so much for that brilliant insight into true life experience about what studying can do. Imagine going from a very brilliant and intelligent student or pupil from the primary school to the secondary school, and then the university environment turns out to be a different ballgame altogether. I can imagine what it would have done to your own state of health or mental health. I would say it would definitely have thrown you off. But thankfully, you were able to hold on the fort and then pull yourself back in, regardless of the fact that yes, extra year is only about numbers. Who counts that? The only thing people eventually remember is the successes you've made. The failures you have made, nobody really keeps a tab on them, really. But once you become successful, nobody definitely is going to remember the failures you've experienced. And like you rightly pointed out, nobody wants to associate with failures. But unfortunately, everyone in every situation needs some sort of support. And of course, like you pointed out, opening up to your lecturer played a very vital role in your being able to bounce back. And that's the whole essence of, obviously, why we are having this forum. Share, reach out. You don't know who's going through what, and you don't know what word you're going to say, the impact and effect it's going to have on another person. So on that note, I just want to say thank you, Chimex, for sharing with us that, what will I say? That one wonderful, not wonderful in his own sense, but an experience that makes you really think, wow, can someone really go through this and come out on the other side still strong and successful at that? Of course, you're an evidence to show that no matter what life throws at you, you can turn it out to what you want it to be. Like they say, if life throws lemons at you, you can either choose to take the lemons and sit down sulking that you've got lemons, or you take the lemons and turn them into lemonades. Thank you very much for that. And I can see our very own Dr. Judy wants to add some dimension to that. Judy, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Great guy. What's your full name?
My full name is Chimechinonso, so Simon. I know you too.
Correct. Okay, so maybe you talk about me later. Let me talk about you. You see, if you know me, you know I don't give up. So probably that's where we connect. And what I am today didn't happen overnight. I wanted to become a doctor. I couldn't enter medical school immediately. I had to go and have my first degree done in Oka. Then went back to youth service, came back to medical school, an old man, did my youth service, came to America, switched from clinical medicine to public health, to maternal health, which I'm currently doing, helping women to overcome infertility globally. Now, what I'm going to say, it's applicable to everybody. It doesn't even matter how old you are, because in each and every one of us, I'm tending towards 50, but I know I'm still a youth. Now, what you told me and what you told us is not coming from a youth. It's coming from someone that has been there. And it's not, the quantity, but the quality of life you've lived. And living in Nigeria and growing up to your mom's expectations, to your parents' expectations, to the society's expectation can actually be very daunting. And if you're not careful, you can, fall off the radar. Growing up, going to primary school, coming first, and when I entered secondary school, it was an entirely different ballgame, because when you come to secondary school, it's a collection of different people that came first in different primary schools. That's the same thing happens in the university, but you have to think outside the box. You see, What God proposed for you might not be what you proposed for yourself, right? So that's why you have plan A, B, C, D, Z. So where you are today might not even be where you'll be tomorrow. Always think outside the box. Always break into that confirmation zone and don't seek societal validation. I'm telling this to the youths. You know, when you see Dr. Trudy out there, people want to be like me, like a finished product. I'm still a work in progress. I have my good days, I have my bad days, but I'm working every day to do things that I feel that God placed in my heart. And one thing you have to do, which you've already done, is to open up, is to go into that space, is to have at least few people that believe in you. They are the wind that will power you to go to anywhere you want to go to. So I don't see a youth in you. I see a man that is accomplished. And don't expect people to believe in you 100%. Anybody that everybody believes in has a problem. Anybody in this social media outlet that everybody likes, you have a problem. If everybody to your page or you do whatever and they like you, you need to go and look yourself up in the mirror. But when you come to yourself, when you're doing you, when before you go to bed, you feel you've already given the word what God deposited in you, you go to bed a happy man. So your colleagues that committed suicide, your colleagues that currently have depression, anxiety, and mental health problems, guess what? If they are in a different setting, if we were running this program and they attended this program, chances are that they would still be around. And it's the society that places a lot of burden on us. And sometimes the people that love us might love us the wrong way. Your mom might not know what you're going through when you were in soccer. They just wanted you to come out with flying colors. Nobody cares for you. And now they're placing a big burden on you, oh, go and marry and stuff. But life is not about doing what people want, doing what your mothers want. There are so many people, their families wanted them to be conductors. Meanwhile, in them, they're actually artists. There are so many people that deviated from medical practice, started writing, and they now have a lot of fulfillment. So stay on track. You are an amazing guy.
Thank you, sir.
Rhyme with people that rhyme with you. Your tribe determines your vibe. If it's only one person that believes in you, you're good. So only quality people, especially out here in social media, like Nikki said. Nikki started off very smart. Going outside Nigeria, it's not easy. And doing your own thing, doing you, believing in you, knowing that you matter, knowing that the greatness you are already seeking is in you, it's amazing. So affiliation, networking, like this beautiful organization started by Ife and Nkechi, amazing. So when you show up, when you glow, you can't hide the light. Light can never be in the dark. So anywhere you go, you keep glowing. So I'm so impressed. I'm so fired up. And I'll keep my eyes on you. And if you guys ever need any help in any form, you always have a free door to access me. And you're going to do an amazing job, young man.
Thank you,
keep
sir.
my eyes on you, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Trudy, for that add-on. Of course, they say we make of life whatever we want to make of it. But like Dr. Trudy pointed out, and like also Chimex said, God is key in everything we do in life. He made us, he knows us, he understands us much more than we do. And when we run to him to seek direction, trust me, he's going to put you on the right path, which he has made for you. Not what your parents thought or not what you might be thinking, but he alone knows that path which he would lead you on, and you'll be happy and find that peace and joy that you so much desire. Thank you once again, Dr. Trudy and Chimex. So now I think it's time for us to have some interactive session. I can see Nikki has her hand up, and also Alex has got his hand up. Nikki, if you would like to say a few things, I think I saw you put it up where Chimex was talking.
I don't want to take too much time. I wasn't sure if I'll be giving this platform, but this is for Chimex. So I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story. It's completely relatable, even though we are in different parts of the world, but I could totally relate when it comes to failure and, you know, having failed a course for the first time. In my own case, I never failed anything in my life before. I was always very good. So it's completely I could relate to every single thing that you said. And, you know, I just wanted to, like, at least also encourage you and to let you know that you're doing a good job. And, you know, like the fact that you've been able to at least, you know, come out from that dark place or come out from those challenges and still strive to still keep on keeping on, it's really good. And it makes me feel good too from just hearing your own story, because it kind of brought back memories when I was thinking of what am I going to do, because I realized that geology wasn't my calling, but then I just didn't know what to do. And so it was that period of exploring. And during that period of trying to figure out, like, what can I do? I took solace in writing. And so that was when I met Dr. Chudi. And there was a point in time when everything was just too much. And I just started, you know, pouring anger and frustration out to him. And then he introduced me to Auntie Ify after that, because Auntie Ify too, because of her profession too. So eventually it took a lot of nerve to change, because I had a lot of like backlash from people, you know, saying, oh, why do you want to switch to geology? You're just wasting your time. And it took 10 years for me to finally be bold enough to make that switch. And now I'm just realizing that it doesn't even matter whether you switch, right? It doesn't matter about your degree, it doesn't matter about the failure. But yes, at the end of the day, you still graduated, but you're making a name for yourself. You're doing something different, and it's what you love doing, right? I've come to realize that ever since switching to health, it's been a lot easier for me, because I know the struggles that I went to, even when I was still in Unizik, when it comes down to geology. So I know what I went through, and it's not the same. And I'm happier. I feel more at peace with myself. So it took a lot of nerve, because I was like, you know, at that point thinking, oh, what will people say? You know, the stigma of, oh, she went abroad and she just wasted her time going to school and all of that. Now she's doing another thing. So at the end of the day, is my own story, is my own journey. If I want to go back to school tomorrow, I'll go back to school. If I want to keep going to school at the age of 40, I'll keep going to school at the age of 40, because it's what I want, right? There are people who graduate at the age of 60, 70. It's what they want to do for themselves. And so those external validations don't matter. So I'm so glad that you've transitioned like me, and I'm glad that you're doing well for yourself and making a name for yourself. So just keep it up and keep doing you. The world will adjust.
Thank you so much for that word, Nikki. I think the key point here, which Nikki and Chimex has pointed out, is follow your passion, whatever it is. Yes, I mean, I also know a former classmate. I remember when we were about to be called to bar, and she it's funny, but I think I have to share it because it's in line with what Nikki and Chimex have shared with us. I mean, here I was very excited. I was going to become a lawyer, and then in their own house, and the mom was also looking forward to her daughter, who's also passed the law school, for her own call to bar. But then what happened? She wasn't even preparing for the event. And then at the end, you know, she managed, but the wig and gown went for it. And by the time she got home, I was in the house. She took the wig and gown and took it to the parents' room and said, Daddy and Mommy, here is your wig and gown. So, but I mean, listening to this story, I can imagine what she was going through, doing what she didn't find fulfillment in, whatever challenges she had been through. But here you are telling us, no matter what it is, stay true to yourself. You can try and fail, but don't be down there. Pick yourself up and try what you know your person or your inner self accepts. And I think that's the most important thing. Thank you very much for that. I can see we've got Alex hand up. Alex, you can say what you would like to say.
Hey, thank you, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I made some little notes on out here. Yeah, but thank you, Chimex. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Dr. Snow. I think one of the key things here is, you know, most of us had these humble beginnings and all these challenges. Like me, I can relate with all the experiences that Chimex and Nikki shared here. I too, my university back in Nigeria, Federal University of Technology, Minna, Niger State. When I was finishing, I stayed back 3 years. Actually, I was expelled and finally came. Many people didn't know this about me, but I hit rock bottom because I was expelled for what I did not do. It took the school 3 years finally to know that I was wrongly, expelled, and they brought me back. Now I know what I was doing for 3 years. When some people I know that they know me as in school and everything. Then I was expelled. I think that was around the time I made the first snow at my mom's store in Unity, and I will see people that they were maybe like in first year when I was in final year, and I see them wearing, the youth service uniform when I've not even graduated from school. There was a time even that it was almost got to where I almost thought of even committing suicide or doing something. But one thing was that I think I had a very strong family. My mom was also raised there. And sometimes, and the two things, what I noticed that when you know some people that could relate to you, like when I have that change in countenance and when start thinking down and giving out things and trying to give it up, when people will notice you and bring you draw you out of that, depression and everything, So, and I like the way Chimek said that, she reached out to the professor that stopped him somewhere and he opened up to him. That was one of the key things that really, really helped me, because most times when people open up, like I wrote it somewhere that, you open up to the right people, your burden will be lifted, and not just that, but one of the things I will charge us is also to look out for people, even in our circle, in our everyday life, that you don't know what people are going through. Even sometimes somebody comes out. Recently, like 2 months ago, there was this lady that I wasn't seeing her for some time, and something just check out on her. And when I went there and I talked to her, after I spoke to her, because of I'm now much inside, she opened up to me that she had concluded that she was going to kill herself. And I know how I talked to her and finally did that she has gotten help and she's, doing very, very well. Even that time she had to, and she's a teenager. I know the family, just that I didn't, she was doing something like, I noticed that there was a change in her attitude, So the two key things here, two lessons I wrote down here is that if you're that down, reach out to someone. And also in our circle, in our daily life, also look out for people that are that downtrodden, that we can also be there to encourage them and to pull them up. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful addition to the topic, Alex. Of course, we need to reach out when we are facing challenges. That's on the one hand. And then the other hand is we also reach out to others to see who we can help bring up. We are all in this together. Everyone is going through one thing or the other. But then how can we know if we don't reach out? And how can we know who can help us if we also don't reach out to people who are in a position to help and support us? Thank you so much for that additional insight, Alex. Dr. Trudy, I thought you wanted to say something. If you want to say anything, please do raise your hand or just pop a comment in the chat box and then we'll pick it up from there.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to add to what Alex actually highlighted on. You see, the adage that it takes a village actually is true. And when we talk about taking a village, it's not just the village people. And, when people talk about the village people, we always attach it to negativities. Now, you didn't choose your parents, you didn't choose your siblings, but you can choose your friends, you can choose your vibes, you can choose your tribe. Now, ability to identify people that kind of have similarities, people you can glean on. They might be younger, they might be older. In anywhere you find yourself actually helps. Like Alex, God just kept bringing us together that we have to be brothers by all means possible. We went to the same secondary school. Alex is actually another guy that transitioned from a different career to medical sector. He's a doctor now, in nursing profession. When he was in Nigeria, Alex was into banking. Despite all the problems he had, he rose to the rank of top shot in banking. When he came to America, he completely transitioned 100%. Today, few months down the lane, we went to Virginia for a reunion for our high school, and a lot of people I didn't even know anything about them came and said so many amazing things about Alex. Currently, Alex started from a lot of places. He felt he didn't really have anything to offer, and right now he's in a comfortable place, but he's not finished yet. So no matter where you find yourself, like I'm actually talking to Nikki, I don't know if you still write. I remember still talking to Chika about the stories you submitted, and I remember putting one of few words for you to Chika. Chika is an acclaimed prolific writer, and she did one of few things and said, this lady has got a talent. So while you're still in nursing or whatever health profession you are, don't forget your first love. When I was in secondary school, I loved literature. So if you follow me, you know I love to write and do a lot of stuff. So while I was still in medical school and while I became a doctor, I still knew that something about literature is where my passion is. And when I was in secondary school, I actually had A's in all the literature related stuff. So find your balance. Think about plan B, A, B, C, D, C. Don't, have a laser focused, this is the only way or no way. And it's applicable to all aspects of life. In my community, where we have a lot of women that want to become mothers, we normally see women that are very good mothers. But the reason why they are not mothers today is because they're Nigerians. Because in Nigeria, the worst sin to commit is not to marry, followed by marrying and not having kids, followed by having kids and not having boys. So at any stage, the society places a burden on you. And it's so painful that the people that will place this burden on you are the people that should actually love you. When you go to church tomorrow to worship God, they stratify you, they put you in different categories. If you're married, stay here. If you're not married, so you discover that unless you tap through what you have on the inside, which is self-love, you can't give what you don't have. But when you love yourself, when you look yourself up in the mirror, when you begin to command positivity into your life, it's going to happen. This is why I believe so much in my PPP. So PPP, if you're in my community, is pray, play, practice. So it's not only in women that want to become mothers. You can put your PPP to anything you want to believe in. So for likes of Nikki, definitely we're going to look forward to your societal, big pageantry when you graduate. And for the likes of the other guy from UNN, yes. It doesn't matter. Look, Chimex, look, I'm looking at you. I'm seeing so many potentials, so many possibilities. So never, ever say no. Always try anything that comes your way, anything that piques your interest, especially right now. Like Nikki, you're in YouTube. Let me tell you, you might finish doing your nursing, but you might discover that YouTube is your niche. And you can flip the odds there because you have the personality. So wherever you find yourself, bloom. The green you're looking at in the other side, you don't know what made it green. You don't even know if it's real green. It might be artificial green. So just find your own space in this social media and stay on the positive. I'm talking to the youths. There are so many distractions out there if you're not careful. If you don't have solid, strong background, you're gonna have problems. So it doesn't matter how many times you fail. Just pick yourself up. Find at least that one person that believes in you, who you can open up to, who you can tell your raw story, who will understand you. Because the problem is, the people you're going to don't even want to listen to you because they have their own problems. The people you're talking to, like in social media, most people come out to project their anger, project their inferiority complex. So they always look to criticize you. They always look to bring you down. You might have 500 friends or 5,000 friends in Facebook, but some of them have never really communicated with you, your bad day and whatever. They're just there, trying to see what they can criticize about you. But if you don't have something good, nobody will criticize you. So keep on keeping on and try all the options. Remember, some of us became what we became today because our parents wanted us to become doctors, to become lawyers, to become engineers. But what God proposed for you might not be a lawyer. One of my colleagues just came back from Enugu. He had an innovation fair. He's a doctor. He's a practicing doctor here. But he has a flair for engineering. And he still didn't stop him from going for what he wanted to do. So it's never late to become what you wanted to become. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fudi, for that additional insights to this whole topic. What more can I add than what they have all said? Keep it real. I think what many people tend to do is, living in denial. You don't acknowledge that there is a problem. But the first step to finding a solution to a problem is first acknowledge that the problem exists. And then with that acknowledgement, it opens up other things as to how to resolve it. So the most important thing, like Chimex pointed out, is never give up, never quit, because that's not a solution in itself. Open up, speak to people who are in a position to help, and not those who, like Dr. Chudi said, will criticize you and make you feel less worthy or less valuable. But speak to people who will understand your situation and give you positive and encouraging suggestions and solutions to dealing with it. And also on the other side, pull people up if you can. Reach out to others who might be going through some struggles as you have been or as you have overcome. And then, we lift each other up and will become what God has ordained or destined us to be in the end. Thank you so much, Dr. Chudi. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Nikki. And thank you, Chimex. So just before, I don't see any more hands, but I'm sure there might be some later on. But let's just have another interlude, another music to also, help us digest and drive this whole message home. It's going to be coming from another guest artist we have in the house, Favored Adjono. So, Favored, are you able to give us your musical presentation?
Hello.
Hi.
Everyone. I'm so glad to be here. It has been amazing. It has been amazing so far. I am very grateful. Thank you, Face Youth, Auntie Ify, and everybody that put this wonderful event together, and everybody that puts effort into making this a success. May God bless you abundantly. Amen. I want to present this song to you. It's called Fight Song, and it's a very inspiring song. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say, by wrecking balls inside my brain, I will scream out loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright. My power is strong. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my part. Nobody else believes. I still got a lot of fire left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing.
Oh, wow. I think the network is not.
Everybody's worried about me. In too deep. Been 2 years. I miss my home. It's fire born in my soul. I still believe. Yeah, I still believe. The things that I didn't say. But wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song.
I think the network is not letting you. Maybe you know what I'm going to do? I think I'll try to just showcase what we have for Favor, just so we enjoy it. And then, yes. So...
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make our eye open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My bow is started on. Started right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep. Say I'm in too deep. Oh, been 2 years and I miss my home. There's a fire burning in my soul, but I still believe. Yeah, I still believe. The things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power is torn out. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. I still got a lot of fight left in me. Yeah. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make our eye open. I might only have one man, but I can make an explosion. Oh, this is my fight song, yeah. Steady right now, I'll be strong. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. And I don't really care if nobody else plays.
Thank you so much, Favored, for that wonderful music. Obviously, our lives is all in our hands. It is what we decide. It is what we choose, not what our parents think, not what anybody thinks. But we make our life what it is going to be for us. It is our decision. It is our own choice. Thank you so much, Favor, for that inspiring music. And then moving on, I don't know, does anyone want to say anything else in line with our topic today? Otherwise, I'll be going on to the very last bits of the program we have tonight. Yes, so I don't see any other hands up. Oh, Dr. Chi, do you want to say something? No. Okay, that's fine.
I've been talking a lot, so I think we'll give other people a chance, so it won't be.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
no,
yeah,
you popped up, and I thought you wanted to say.
No.
I thought you wanted to say
finger. No,
something. Yeah, that's fine. So, once again, I want to say thank you to Nikki and to Chimex for giving us an insight into what life experiences and challenges they have had through their times studying at university, obviously from secondary up to university, and what their life has turned out to be now. Thank you so much for that wonderful insight into your experiences and your advice to young people out there and to anyone out there who may be going through a similar challenge as you have been, that it is not the end of the road, but that they should pick themselves up, seek help, take care of themselves, and then pray, like Dr. Trudy said, pray and ask for God's direction. And he surely is able to lead you through and bring you to the other side of success, as the two of them have so far made of their lives from the various challenges they faced. They are living examples that no matter what you're going through, of course, like Chime said, life comes in phases. At every phase in life, you have a certain type of challenge to face. But when you don't give up at one phase, then you have an opportunity of moving on to the next phase of life. And so you are able to move through the various phases of life all the way to the very end. And like Chimek said, never, never, never give up. Open up to people who can help, seek help, and on the other hand, also offer a helping hand to someone else who might be struggling. Share your life experience. Share any experience you have had. You never know who will take an inspiration from that sharing. Just like we are doing here on in this seminar, we're only trying to do the little we can to impact lives out there. It's only a drop in the ocean, but a whole lot more could be possible and be done by each and every one of us out there to help someone who might be going through any mental health challenge or issues. Dr. Judy.
I just remembered something and I have to chip it in just to encourage us. You see, the only time you will stop having challenges is when you go down 6 feet. That's what I've come to realize. So unless you're dead and gone and forgotten, you're going to have challenges. So just program your mind as a challenger and as a problem solver. So part of your challenges will bring out the best in you. If so many people didn't tell you no, if you didn't have so many closed doors, you won't look at different things from different perspectives. So see your challenges like stepping stones. But please, let's not spiritualize our mental health problems. You know, part of the people that have problems in Nigeria were called Obanje, Abuku, spiritual this, deliverance this. You know, there are mental health issues that anybody can pass through. No matter how happy you are, no matter how accomplished you are. Women that have their kids, if they get overwhelmed, they can have postpartum depression. So many women that had those problems, they might have said, oh, the people in the village, so there are medical aspects of problems. There are helps we can get when we don't spiritualize everything. Just remember that God gave us a sound mind. Just remember that for every profession, there is a need for it. When you spiritualize your mental health problems, you're creating further problems. And the people that might spiritualize your mental health problems might be your mother, it might be your father, it might be your sibling. So dare to stand out. And remember that no is also part of the equation. Don't be a yes member. Think about your own mental health. And also remember you can get help. Help is always there. There are different types of help you can get. You can get medical help. You can get therapeutic help. You can get psychological help. You can get counseling. For everyone, there is a role. So don't neglect yourself. Remember that the most important thing in life is not well, is your health. So don't struggle all this time to get money. Then you use that money to go and start buying health. You can't buy your health. You can make wealth. So remember to prioritize your health. Your mental health reflects your general health. So when you're sound, when your body is weak, when you're having headache, give yourself a treat. Take good care of yourself. Sleep, it's your medicine. Food is your medicine. So when you're sleeping, use your sleep as a medicine. Use your food as a medicine so that over time, you're not going to use your drugs as your food. So at the end of the day, prioritize your own happiness. That's what I just remembered and I felt like sharing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chudi, for that wonderful addition to the message of today. And I can see everyone is expressing their opinion and their thanks and how they feel about what we have shared, what Nikki and Chimex and everyone else have contributed to the session today. I just want to say a very big thank you on behalf of FACEYOUTH to every one of our speakers today, Nikki, Anepe, and to Chimex, for what they have shared with us, for their tips, for taking us into their life experiences of their journey, studying abroad and in Nigeria, and the mental health issues they had and how they were able to overcome and be where they are today. Thank you so much for that insightful expose, I would say, into your life experiences. Once again, I want to say to our guest musicians who have given us some music interludes today, to Abu Canary and then to Favored Ajona. Thank you so much for serenading us with your beautiful voices. Of course, like Abu Canary said, we all need to believe in miracles because there is a miracle that we all can do within our lives, only if we believe. And like Favor said to us in her own music, your life is in your hands. It is what you make of it. That is what it will become for you. Not your parents, not your friends, but you are completely, totally in charge of your life. And every decision you make is your choice. But we hope that we all make the right choices and decisions for ourselves. And also to all of us who have joined us so far in this session today, I want to say thanks for being part of today's seminar. And we hope that it has been a rewarding and useful session for all of you. And then we hope that you would obviously, as we've advocated here today, while you open up, if you're going through challenges, you also reach out and to others who might also be going through issues to offer a helping hand and support, because together we help and build up each other. As we know, this is our monthly seminar. So we hope to organize another seminar to next month, the month of October. The month of October will be on suicide prevention, but the seminar will not be held in the current format that we have it as of today. That is, we have speakers come and talk to us and we log in. It is going to be in a one-to-one coaching session for anyone who might be interested in. So next month, we would not have a seminar as we have it today, but we would have a one-to-one coaching session on suicide prevention to allow and give people opportunity to have a one-to-one discussion with mental health specialists to help them deal with issues they might have, which might have been tilting them towards suicide. So if you would want, or you know anyone who might be interested in such a session, you or the person will need to indicate your interest by signing up. I think we'll share the a link on the chat box for people to join, to sign up to the session. So sorry, I think I said October. Next month is actually September. I think I just want the year to end actually. But yeah, this is August and next month is September. So for our session in September, we're having the one-to-one coaching session. So they'll put the form on the chat box for people to indicate their interest for the session if they want. But of course, that is what we'll be holding for September. Sorry, I don't know why I spoke October. Anyway, so yes, and that will be what we would have for next month. September, the one-to-one coaching, and not our usual seminar presentation format. So once again, I want to say thank you to everyone for joining in, and thank you in a special way to Nikki and Chimex for sharing with us their life experiences. Hopefully, we will meet you again and see all of you again when we hold another seminar or presentation in this format, hopefully in the month of October. But for those who want to be part of the one-to-one coaching session, please do well to sign up, and we will see you in September. Thank you very much. And to leave us all, I think I would play another of Favor's music, just to serenade us while we end the seminar for today.
Running out of breath, but I got stamina. Running out of close my eyes, I got stamina. I need another mountain to climb, but I got stamina. I need another love to be mine, cause I got stamina. Don't give up, I won't give up. Don't give up, no, no, no. Don't give up, I won't give up. Don't give up, no, no, no. I'm free to be the greatest I'm alive. I'm free to be the greatest yet tonight. The greatest, the greatest, the greatest alive. The greatest alive. Running out of breath, but I got stamina. Slowing down, I close my eyes, I got stamina. Running out of waves of love, I got stamina. Running out just enough, I got stamina. Don't give up, I won't give up. Don't give up, no, no, no. Don't give up, I won't give up. Don't give up, no, no, no. I'm free to be the greatest I'm alive. I'm free to be the greatest here tonight. The greatest, the greatest, the greatest alive. The greatest alive. Oh, oh, I got stamina. 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 Oh, hey, oh. I got stamina. Yeah, yeah. Don't give up, I won't give up. Don't give up, no, no, no. Don't give up, I won't give up. Don't give up, no, no, no. I'm free to be the greatest I'm alive. I'm free to be the greatest here tonight. The greatest, the greatest, the greatest alive. The greatest alive. Oh, the greatest alive. 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 Oh, the greatest alive. The greatest alive. Oh.
Thank you so much, Favored, for that final message. Don't give up. Don't give up. You can be the greatest. Thank you so much. And on that note, everyone, I bring our session today to an end. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, our speakers. Thank you for joining in, and see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.